Hello, and welcome to my third talk on Roman roads. This time it's about Roman roads connected to the Roman town of Dorchester-on-Thames. This is a set of roads that covers Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire and only just Berkshire. Here is Ivan Margary's map of the area. You can see Dorchester-on-Thames underlying red, along with the four roads I'll be looking at in this talk. I'm going to start at the south with 160C and then go anti-clockwise from there. So starting with Roman Road 160C, from the Roman town of Silchester to the Roman town of Dorchester. This is a rough outline of Margary's understanding of the route. He took from Silchester a road north, including the modern A340 to Pangbourne, where there is a small amount of Roman occupation, and then there would have been a turn to the northwest to join up with the northern section. The bit in between is not very well understood. There is also a fair amount of Roman occupation east of the River Thames at Goring, though it is not clear how this relates to the Roman road. So now, starting at the southern end, we'll take a look at the changes to this route. This is where the new course of the Roman road diverges from Ivan Margary's course. You can see the road highlighted in blue on the LiDAR. It's cut by Burfield Road and it crosses an earthwork shown on the Ordnance Survey maps as Grim's Bank. You also notice at the very bottom of the image there is a quarry, and it's recorded in Trevor Coombs' article linked in the comments below that the section of the Roman road was visible in the side of the quarry. Further to the north, this is the last section of the road covered by Trevor Coombs, and he highlights a particularly striking section of the road shown in the top of the image in magenta, which shows on an aerial photograph. And here is that photograph, which clearly shows the side ditches of the Roman road, which presumably means the surface has been ploughed away. Leaving the floodplain of the River Kennet and heading north, this is a section of the road that, as far as I'm aware, I'm the first to find. This is not surprising given the very slight nature of some of the features on the LiDAR, apart from one very deep cut just east of Bradfield. Again, there is an aerial photograph which shows the Roman road shown in magenta on this image. Here is that aerial photograph. Unlike the previous photograph where we saw the side ditches, in this case we are seeing some of the surface, probably a very damaged surface. Further north again, two more sections show on the LiDAR, and then I lose it. Here again is an overview of the road, this time with the new section to the south. You can see it heads more directly towards the well understood section leading from Dorchester to the north. I would not expect the two sections of road to join up directly, however. There are some fairly steep hills in between. What I expect would happen is the Roman road leading from Silchester would make a turn to the right down one of the minor valleys into the valley of the River Thames and then hug the western bank of the River Thames in order to circumvent the very steep hills. Next up we have Road 160CC. This is a road that Ivan Margary proposed as an alternative route between Dorchester and Silchester, starting out heading southeast from Dorchester and then making a 90-degree turn to head back to Silchester. Margary doesn't give details of this route. The black line shown on the image here is one suggested by Malpass, which you can see in the article below. Evidence for the road is scant, however. It doesn't appear convincingly on LiDAR, and the only evidence I can find is some short sections of road between Dorchester and Benson. There is a significant amount of Roman occupation at Benson, so what these sections of road may be is an area of further occupation and agriculture that represents a settlement encompassing the whole area of Dorchester and Benson, rather than a longer route further to the southeast. Here is an aerial photograph showing those sections of road. As you can see, there is settlement around it. And now for the next road, Roman Road 168B and C. This was first suggested by the Viatores in their book Roman Roads in the Southeast Midlands. They probably suggested the section of road 168C because it was known that there was Roman settlement at Goring, but Ivan Margary later ignored this and only showed 168B in his book on the Roman roads of Britain. Later on, Morris and Malpass, who are linked below this video, suggested an alternative to 168C leading directly to Dorchester. In my discussion of the road, I'm going to divide this into three separate sections: the southwest, the centre and the northeast section. Starting with section 1 to the southwest, there is very little evidence for the Viatores route from Goring 168C. Similarly, there is very little evidence for the Morrison-Malpass suggested route, even though that is the currently accepted one. The evidence for my suggested route, just to the north of the Morris and Malpass route, is also fairly slight. The one thing that saves it is an aerial photograph quite close to Dorchester itself, shown in magenta on this map. And here is that aerial photograph showing the Roman road being crossed by a different Roman road. Because the evidence is so slight, my suggestion for this section of the route should be taken just as that, only a suggestion. It does need more work. Section 2, the central section, is where everyone agrees. The Roman road is represented by a modern road, long straight sections of the lower Icknield Way. Section 3 is a new section of the road, one that I believe I am the first to find. While the Viatores had the road continuing straight on to the west of Tring, I'm suggesting that the road takes a right turn through Wendover towards Cowroast, which is a Roman settlement. The Roman road is represented by two straight sections of modern road near Wendover, Wendover Road and Hale Road, but it is only once we climb the hills to the east of Wendover that we get the clearest picture that this is actually a Roman road. After the hill's been climbed, we see what appears to be a beautifully preserved section of Agger in Hangrove Wood, where the road makes a right turn to go towards the settlement at Cowroast, and the road continues to the east before descending into the valley to the settlement at Cowroast. If you're wondering what the long straight feature is to the south of the Roman road, that is an Iron Age bank and ditch known as Groom's Ditch, which is what I was looking at when I discovered this road. The settlement at Cowroast is at the crossing of the River Bulbourne, now substantially replaced by a canal. There is a link to some information about the settlement in the description below this video. I would expect the road to cross the river and continue to the north here, but I have yet to find any convincing evidence that that is the case. Now onto the fourth road, Roman Road 173A, which was suggested by the Viatores. You can understand their reasoning for coming up with this route. You've got a town at Dorchester, you've got a town at Fleet Marston. They've looked for straight sections of the road in between those two towns and then joined them together. Unfortunately, I don't agree with what they have come up with. There is little to see on the LiDAR suggesting that this is the correct route. Ivan Margary seems to disagree as well. On his map he shows a route further to the northwest, but doesn't give any details, instead pointing at the Viatores account in their own book. Looking at Fleet Marsden at the northern end, This is a settlement which has received a lot of attention recently, with new housing estates and the high-speed 2 line going through it. There's been lots of excavation and geophysics, the results of which you can see in orange where new roads have been discovered. So here is the straight section of modern road that I am joining up to. As you can see, parts of it are underlaid by an agger, and as you can also see from the ridge and furrow and how the road interacts with it, the road must predate the ridge and furrow. Past that, there isn't a lot to see. It does seem to be heading in the direction of the Roman settlement at Barton, near Oxford, but the whole route is suspicious and not very well founded. I would treat this as a suggestion rather than a proof of a road. So here are all 4 of those roads, or sections of roads, together. Thank you for watching my video.